On board with us, it's Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe Congini from Sports Medicine Center at Akron Children's Hospital. Joe, late spring season, summer season right around the corner. Let's talk some sports medicine.
Yeah, it's really the key calling that we have at Sports Medicine Center at a Children's Hospital is looking after kids in sports, and a big part of that is high school sports. We really, first of all, I just want to say really appreciate how much WAKR supports high school athletes and high school sports around the area, Ray. It's such an important thing for community purposes, and to see you out at Canal Park this week with the Student Athlete of the Year program that you continue to run, and we're thrilled to be sponsors with you guys. That kind of program is just great and really supportive for the community and the kids, and they love that kind of program. So thanks for that. And one other thing I wanted to say this time of year is in the next week or two, we have the ability now through the Ohio High School Athletic Association, the OHSAA, has moved around some of their state finals to C games, and as you know, and we have such a great softball stadium. They have been playing the semifinals and finals at Firestone Stadium, I think, for a decade at the OHSAA, and that's pretty much a given. It's such a good stadium. It's such a great place to get out and watch softball games, and they're coming up in the next week or two, the semifinals and finals. And then the boys are over at Canal Park. I believe it's the third year. I was talking to your friend Jim Fander about it, third or fourth year. They don't have as long a contract, but we got to get out and be supportive so that they'll continue to come back to Akron. I think it's good for everybody in town and really fun and at this time of year to watch good high school baseball. So thanks for your support of high school sports. I wanted to mention that today. But I did want to mention, and you started with, this late spring season, which is pretty new to me. Those of us even that have been around for a long time, this was about time when spring sports would wind down, and there was a bit of a lull in beginning of June, July, and things like that. And not so much anymore. Everybody who's paying attention in high school sports knows now that there is this late spring sport time, and a lot of our fall and winter sports gear up. Soccer, football, basketball have practices, certain numbers of practices that they're allowed to do, and they strategically make decisions about when they're going to play and practice. The only problem is I just ask everybody to keep your guard up as we get into end of May and June here. The most important person on the sports medicine team, the certified athletic trainers, are there all year long. They've been going through the whole winter and spring, and they actually need a little bit and take well-deserved breaks usually at this time of year. And so some of the times we're out there without that really key component to the sports medicine team at all the high schools in the area. So I just ask everybody to really keep your guard up and be still aware of those things, particularly the ones that worry us the most, like heat. We've had some pretty good heat the last few days, and we're not acclimatized for it. So we're really asking coaches and asking the trainers to kind of assign coaches to be looking for things like heat, to be looking for issues like heart. You know, when it comes to heart, the big thing that's made a huge difference through my career is the defibrillators, the AEDs. So we need somebody to be aware of having the AEDs out when we're practicing through the month of June. And so we're asking all the schools in the area to really pay good attention to that and be aware of that. If the AEDs can be great lifesavers, but if they're not where they need to be and we can't find them, that's going to be a major problem. And we do get even into some of the concussion and the head injury stuff. That, again, typically June was a really low month for that, and yet now June and July have become months that we're seeing those more. So as we've moved into this late spring sports season, as we've moved into spring practices, partly to catch up, I guess, with the rest of the country. A lot of the country had these practices, and Ohio has done that. So far, I think the transition's been pretty good. We've kept an eye on the injury part. Perhaps with no rest period, we've seen a little bit of an uptick in some of the injuries, but overall, I understand the reasons for it. Let's just really keep our guard up and really keep an eye out for those really catastrophic type injuries. and especially be aware when our ATCs, our trainers, athletic trainers, are not available on site. Let's really make it a period where we keep it safe, too, in the months of June and July so we can get into August with everybody being healthy.
Yeah, that sounds like a good remedy for me. And, Joe, you're spot on there, too, with the high heat. I know I pushed off doing my exercises till later in the afternoon, and there's a lot of athletes, young and old alike, that like their routines, right? The run, whatever it might be. With that high heat, either do it early or late, correct?
Exactly right. Exactly. For all of us.
Yeah.
And so we talk a lot for adult athletes and elite athletes like Ray Horner here, too. But we also, when we're talking about the high school sports, we're looking at it from team standpoint. And so we're asking coaches to be smart about picking times for when their players are playing and being aware of all these issues sometimes when the athletic trainers aren't around.
No doubt about it. Joe, have a great holiday weekend, my friend. We'll reconnect next week.
Thanks so much. Again, thanks for everything you do in town for high school athletes, Ray.
Much appreciated, my friend.